What's up, you guys? Welcome back to Sinister Bunny Studios, your go-to channel for heavy metal content, and welcome to another This week's Heavy Metal Monday is going to discuss a somewhat sad topic, and I'm going to try to stick to this camera because I pulled a muscle in my neck and it's super painful, and I can't really turn my head. I have to turn my body to be able to turn. So I got a camera over here, my backup camera. It'll just kind of give you a behind the scenes look, I guess. But regardless, onto the topic. It's never a good thing to hear that somebody passed, and especially when it's somebody from like a well-known band. It just has a louder impact because so many people know them. And unfortunately, just a few days ago, Frankie Benali, who played drums on Quiet Riot's best-selling albums, passed away. It was confirmed that he was battling pancreatic cancer, which I know is a very nasty form of cancer. He was also diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer, which is pretty bad. And this is coming from a Rolling Stone article that I read about it. My girlfriend actually sent me a link just the other day, talking about that this happened. Basically, Benali, who drummed for Quiet Riot for those albums, he joined in 1982 because Quiet Riot is an 80s hair metal band, and this was 1 year before they released their blockbuster breakthrough album Metal Health. You know the song "Come On Feel the Noise," "Come on Feel the Noise," "Girls Rock Your Boy," that song. And Metal Health, "Bang Your Head," "Bang Your Head." Those were some of the ones that he was on. Let's see. And the article itself says the group's mixture of tough heavy metal riffs and glam rock sensibilities played well at radio and the newly launched MTV. Back when MTV was actually showcasing music and music videos. Not what it is nowadays. And Metal Health became the first heavy metal record to top the Billboard 200. And it knocked the Police's "Synchronicity" off the charts. It sold more than 6 million copies. Their 1984 follow-up, "Condition Critical," was also a big hit, making it the number 15 on the Billboard 200, and it sold more than 1 million copies on the strength of "Mama, We're All Crazy Now." Mama, We're All Crazy Now. Unfortunately, D. Snyder from Twisted Sister added a comment on Twitter. He fought hard until the end. His playing and rock and roll spirit will live forever. Mike Portnoy from Dream Theater, or previously from Dream Theater, and various other projects, Adrenaline Mob, Reservoir Dogs, a lot of different things. He said, "So saddened to hear of the passing of my drumming brother, Frankie Benali. He fought an incredibly brave battle against cancer, and his strength and dignity was truly inspiring." And that's Mike Portnoy, one of the best drummers in metal. Like, one of the best, if not the best. Let's see, who else said some stuff? Handful of other people added some things. In addition to Quiet Riot, Benali was born on November 14th, 1951 in New York, and he played briefly with the members of Ozzy Osbourne's solo band in rehearsals. He also recorded several albums with Wasp, another glam metal band, and cut LPs with former Deep Purple singer and bassist Glenn Hughes. Didn't know that. And Billy Thorpe, among others, alongside Vinny Appice, or Appice, I can't remember how you say that. He played drums on the "We Are the World" style charity single "Stars," which Ronnie James Dio organized and called "Here in Aid." It's just like I said, it's never good to hear that somebody has passed. And I appreciate Quiet Riot's music. They had some hits, as I've talked about. They had a handful of hits that were, more than a handful of hits that were actually really good songs, and their music is actually really good. They're one of those glam metal bands that I can stand. A lot of them, like the super glam metal bands like Cinderella and Poison and stuff like that, I can't really stand them that much. But Quiet Riot, Motley Crue, Wasp a little bit, those heavier sides of glam metal or hair metal were the bands that I could stand. The ones that weren't dressing up in makeup and high heels and all that stuff, which to each their own, but I just don't think it wasn't for me. And it's ironic because even Pantera, for those of you who know who Pantera is, before Pantera was Pantera, they were kind of a glam metal band. Their first stuff was kind of a glam metal band thing before they became like the hard thrash type of stuff, which not a lot of people know. But like I said, it's always sad to hear people passing. I mean, there's a lot. The last handful of years, we've had a lot of great artists pass away, unfortunately. And it just seems like every year there's somebody new or a couple people. And it's sad to see because I myself am stuck in the world where my preference in music is back in that time, and I wasn't born back then, so I'm stuck with dealing with a lot of the bands and artists that I enjoy passing away during my time. And I only can take chances at trying to see them. That's why I've gone to a lot of concerts, so I can see bands before they get too old or they pass away, stuff like that. And with COVID and stuff right now, obviously I can't even do any of that, but it's always sad to hear that somebody's passed away. And it seems like he had quite a bit of impact on a lot of artists. And I mean, the fact that even former Dream Theater drummer Mike Portnoy said something. Obviously, Dee Snider was going to say something because Twisted Sister was another one of those 80s hair metal bands. And it's just, I guess he had more of an impact than I realized. But Quiet Riot had a really big impact because they were one of the big names, But yeah, man, it's sad to see. It's sad to see this. He was 68, so he lived fairly old. And I'm assuming, I don't know anything about his background, but just knowing about that time and what bands were doing, if he was doing a lot of drugs and, partying and doing all that, living to 68 is actually pretty good. But like I said, I don't know. He might not have done anything, and then it's maybe somewhat short. But, people live longer now. Like, I'll probably live longer, I hope, just with better health care and stuff like that. But 68's a pretty long life, and I think he had a big impact. He did a lot of stuff with Quiet Riot and all the other stuff I mentioned earlier, so he's had a pretty decent impact on the world. I think he left a legacy behind, which is ultimately what you would want to do in a case like his. And it's, like I said, it's sad to see that stuff happen. It seems like cancer takes a lot of the big names. And the biggest one that hit me the hardest when I was younger was, God, I don't even know what year that was. That might have been... Gosh, what year was that? I don't know what year it was when Ronnie James Dio passed away. I can't remember what year that was. 2010. Okay, that's what I thought. So that was 10 years ago. I remember the day that my dad came up into my room and told me that Ronnie James Dio had passed away. And I believe he passed away from stomach cancer. And I remember it sucked because I never got to see him do anything live, and he was one of the big names that I was so inspired by. And my dad brags because he got to see Dio as Dio in Black Sabbath. He's seen him a couple times, but I mean, it is what it is. I try to see what I can, but like I said, it's really sad to see, and my condolences go out to his family and all the bands and stuff that are going to be impacted by this. It seems like 2020 is becoming a fairly crappy year, if not already. It's probably one of the worst years in a very long time for the entire world. And it just doesn't seem like it's going to get better anytime soon. Regardless of that, that's pretty much the gist of what I wanted to talk about. It's a sad topic, but what can you do? It is what it is, and it's life, But I forgot in the last couple episodes to do my recommendation at the end of the video like I always want to do. And so my recommendation for you is a song, okay? And I'll provide a link in the description so you can click over and just go listen to it yourself. It's by a band called Haken. They're like a progressive metal band. And yes, I know. Everybody's doing progressive metal. But listen, these guys are different. They got a very different sound. And I'm not just saying that. The song is called Cockroach King. It is very bizarre. It's different. But it is so good. And it's a very, very good song, and I jam out to it all the time. It's one of my all-time favorite progressive metal songs. So give it a listen and let me know what you think about it. Other than that, I need to get going because my neck is so screwed up and it hurts pretty bad right now. So I probably need to lay down and get a heating pad and some ice on it. Sorry for the later video. I'm trying to experiment with different upload times, so you'll have to let me know if this was too late. Or if you prefer the earlier uploads that I did with the last handful of episodes. But I'm just trying to find the right time for these things. And like I always say, thank you so much for liking, commenting, and subscribing. And I'll see you in the next video. Whew. Stay metal, my friends.